What's up, guys? It's Adam from Spiritus Systems, not the normal Adam. You can call me Adam 2 or the other Adam. Some of you guys know me. I'm the business development account manager, but today I want to talk to you about range preparation and what you should bring to the range. Obviously, some of this is going to be specific to what range type you use. If you go to an indoor range, an outdoor range, there is going to be some stuff that you're going to have to flex. I don't have target stands in here. You might need target stands for your range, other stuff like that, but we'll kind of talk about generalities of best practices to what you should have with you when you go to the range so you have a successful range day. Some of the things I'm going to start with are here on this table. One of the biggest, and I want to highlight this first, is having some sort of IFAK or trauma kit with you. At the range, there is a high probability or a chance of danger, whether it's somebody twisting their ankle, hopefully not getting holes put in them or anything like that, but it's always good to have medical stuff with you. North American Rescue makes a great trauma kit for the range. This is specific to injuries that you would kind of see, such as massive hemorrhaging, other items, or other injuries like that. So this is a great thing to have, as well as a boo-boo kit, such as I have aspirin, Band-Aids, everything like that. Keep those separate. Just make sure you keep them with you when you're at the range. Put them in a place where everybody can see and access it, and make sure they stay stocked. So moving on from the medical stuff, again, very important. We'll kind of delve into my range bag and go over what's in here and why. Another thing before I forget is to talk about is eye protection. Make sure you have eye protection with you. I don't have any in my range bag because I wear prescription glasses, so I have them all the time. I keep spares in my vehicles and other places like that, but make sure you have some sort of ballistically rated eye protection with you when you go to the range. This bag is a first spear bag. This is the Sherpa range bag. I'll start with this outer pocket. And again, this is just what's in my range bag. Yours might be different, but this is just best practices or some good ideas. So I keep a pair of welding gloves. I do that because I shoot suppressed rifles or with suppressors. This is something that's nice to not burn your hands and be able to take off a can if you need to fix something or do something. Welding gloves are a good thing, especially when you're teaching and you've got a bunch of people in class with suppressors, because it's not fun to touch the forbidden popsicle. Some other items in here, I have some recoil springs for my staccato pistols as extras. I have, just a regular screwdriver with changeable bits as a tool. And then I have, what else is in here? We've got a cleaning rod. So cleaning rod for cleaning obstructions or clearing obstructions such as a squib load, anything like that. You need to actually have a fixed metal cleaning rod. So I keep that in my bag. And then Glock tool, that just comes in handy whether it's a Glock or not. You've got some sort of push tool, some pins, a whistle. That's more for on the instruction side. If I'm running a line and I need to call commands and I'm not using a timer, I can use a whistle instead of the timer itself. Pins, lens cleaning cloth, just some other items. So that is all in that front pocket. Oh, and then the wonderful mini measuring tape. If you need to measure something, this works. We'll talk about a bigger one here in a second for certain use in the range. So that's just miscellaneous stuff that I keep in that front pocket. Again, the idea is just I have these with me when I'm at the range. I don't use them all the time, but if I need them, they're there. It doesn't take up a lot of space. All right, let's move into the main compartment now. If I break my bag. All right, Ear Pro. Always have Ear Pro. Inside, if you want to run caps like these, this is an older pair of Swordens that I have. I do have the gel cups on here. It makes it a lot more comfortable the longer you spend on the range. I usually keep a spare with me. I know that can get expensive, but you can always have your nice primo pair and then a less expensive pair of something just to have as a backup in case these go down. Or if someone else that you're at with the range forgot their ears, you can give them some hearing protection. Talking about Hearing Pro, I'll just jump straight into batteries. So I keep spares, AAAs, AAs, CR123s for any lights, lasers, optics, any other electronics, including my timer, Ear Pro, everything like that. I always keep spare batteries in my kit or my range kit. Other big thing in here is kind of weapon specific or what I'm shooting. I have a bunch of mags for my rifle that I keep in here at all times, to include some shorter 20 rounders. These are great for zeroing if I'm shooting from a supported position. It gives me that option to have them. So I have 2 of those and a couple actual, regular magazines. And then pistol mags. I keep several training mags. I cut my mags to whether it's a carry mag or a duty mag, and then I have training mags. So I always have range mags or training mags in my bag, so I have something to use at the range. So timer, this is a Pocket Pro 2. This is the main timer I've used for the longest time. There's a bunch of other timers out there. There's pack timers. Kestrel has a timer now. Just something that you can use that should have ability to have instant if you're running a timer for someone else, random time if you're by yourself. That way you can actually time the shooting drills or whatever you're doing and have the ability to look back and get feedback of split times, all that data you're going to find utilizing a timer. So I bring a timer. Since I'm an instructor, I bring 2 because I've had one break, or if we have a lot of group, or even if it's just not a range day where I'm teaching, we can split up into groups and everybody can have the ability to run a timer. Other items in here, I keep a stapler. This is for posting targets, everything like that. Another option is spray glue. There's Loctite, the 3M Super 77 adhesive glue works really good. I prefer a stapler just because I like to be able to take additional targets off of the main target, and I'll talk about that with some of the other target systems I bring with me. Some more batteries. So those are for my optics, so that's CR2032s. It's for acros, anything like that. A huge important piece is a marker. I just run a blue marker because it works better on the B8 repair centers that I use, or any other target. It just stands out on the black of being able to use a blue marker. So I always have a marker with me. I will bring a paint pen in case I need to mark anything, or whether it's a mag that's having some issues, I can put a marking on it to where I know, or hey, we had to tighten up somebody's optic or something like that, we need to put a witness marking, so I always keep a paint pen with me as well. We have staples for the staple gun, and then I have pasters for pasting targets as well. And then lastly in here, I have some spare systems to use as targets. So I keep 3x5 cards and 3x3 Post-it notes. And I'll show you kind of how those work with some different target systems to bring to the range. So the main target that I use is just an IPSC or USPSA metric. This is an easy target. You can find these everywhere. There's a lot of drills, standards, or other things that are built off this target. So it makes it easy. Shooting cardboard also over paper is easier because you can paste. So you get a lot more life out of the target versus paper targets. You're not always going to be able to use these at every range. Indoor ranges, a lot of times they will make you buy targets there. So there's some ways around that. Either if they don't have paper USPSA style targets, there's other things you can do to get a comparable or flexible target. So the main A zone is a great place to work. You have the 6x6 head box, and then you have the credit card in there. Something you can do with these even, or to flex on drills or everything like that, is you can actually take something like a 3x5 card and just staple that guy up there in high and center, and now you have a smaller reduced target. Again, something depending on what you're working at, and we'll talk about range plans or ways to plan your range day later. This is a good thing. So this is just why I keep 3x5 cards in there, is to be able to have something to flex. So this could go into the head box horizontally or into the chest vertically. I could stack others, whatever I'm doing. Same with the 3x3s. This is a really good upper head box zone to practice with. And those are easily found. Some Post-it notes and 3x5 cards. Cheap and easy to find, and you can put those on other targets. So if you're at the indoor range and they have a specific target you have to use, you can always turn around, use the back of that, and staple those up and have something other than the battleship target they have up there because they think it's cool, or the zombie target that you're like, hey, there's no scoring zones, I'm trying to do something here. The other thing I always have with me are B8 repair centers. These are huge for zeroing your optics or even your irons, whether pistol, rifle, whatever. It gives you a definitive zone to use, and you can staple these up to the IPSC target, pull them down, paste up anything outside the A if you want a negative tape, or tape everything with pasters and continue to use that target throughout the day. So that's why I like to use staple versus adhesive glue, because if I adhesive glue this on here, it's going to be near impossible to get off without ripping everything. So B8s are just a great tool to have. Again, we'll talk more drills or uses of these at a later time. The last one I'll talk about with targets, other than some printed ones that's really easy, is just a regular sheet of paper. So if you take some printer paper and you fold it like so, you have a nice little about 5x8 target zone. So this is, again, if you can't access USPSA targets or you want something else, this is an easy way to create a secondary target. And this is also something you can keep notes on, write times down, data, whatever you're doing at the range, keep a bunch of paper with you, and you can put this on a target. As you saw, I pulled this out of this little notebook. This is a lot of people will be familiar with these, some won't, but this is just a clipboard that also has some storage in it. So in here, I can just lock it, and then I can keep a bunch of targets, scoring sheets, whatever else, pens and papers. And this allows me to have something to write on and a place to keep spare stuff. I keep some spare pasters in there, everything like that. And that's just easy, something to keep with you. Moving on from the targets. The last things kind of that are important that you make sure you should keep with you, we talked a little bit with the screwdriver, is some sort of toolkit. I can't tell you how many times I've been out there, somebody's optic mount wasn't torqued or loose, or they wanted a new optic and they didn't have the tool to mount it, and that could, just curb an entire range day where you can't do anything because somebody doesn't have an optic mounted to their gun or whatever. So I just keep a basic toolkit with me, and I bring this to me with the range, and that allows me to fix something or mount something and make sure that we have a functional and productive range day. Then lastly is my cleaning kit. I keep this in a little Magpul Dhaka, but it's just, microfiber cloths, some gun grease, degreaser, little bore snake, all that. I just keep a cleaning kit, and I try to keep that with me just in case someone is having issues. How many times I've gotten to the range and somebody didn't clean their gun, or they've never lubed it because no one ever told them how to, and so they just have a super dry gun that's causing issues. So that way you can help them and have a productive range day. Other items to consider are spare guns. I have a training pistol, so make sure I bring that with me to the range as well as my carry gun. It's a backup, it can get expensive, but if you're doing high volume of training, it is important to have that. Otherwise, you just need to make sure you bring whatever you're going to use at the range and you're trying to achieve. If you want to shoot out a full kit, probably should bring your full kit. If you want to shoot from concealment, have your concealment stuff, etc. And that's kind of it. It's pretty easy, kind of base level of what you should bring with you to the range to have a good range day.